for this webinar on a Sunday morning. My name is Osanthi Vattavana. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for AIBS. With me, I have Ms. Irene Mujumba, the Director of Marketing and Admissions at Edith Cowan College, Australia. Mr. Gary Maguire, the Senior Marketing Manager at La Trobe College, Australia. Ms. Dion Gregory, the Area Manager, Navitas, Sri Lanka. And Mr. Hiran De Silva, who is the Director Chief Executive Officer at Asian Institute of Business and Science, to talk about the Australian Foundation Year Program at AIBS as a pathway program to Australia, the benefit of startup your further studies with a college proceeding to a university in Australia, and more about Australian studies. So we will have few presentations followed by a Q&A session at the end of the presentations. And I request all of you to stay with us till the end so you can join the Q&A session, direct your questions by your own, or you can type and send it in the chat box. Please keep your mics muted while the presenters are present in the presentation, so we won't be disturbing them. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take it through the chat box to them. So without further delay, because I know it's a Sunday and you have a lot of work to do, so I'll invite Mr. Hiran De Silva to start the session and take you through the presentation. Hiran, it's over to you.
Thank you, Osanthi. Thank you for that introduction. Good morning to every one of you, and afternoon to our partners. Especially I need to thank Irene from Edith Cowan College, Gary from La Trobe College, all the way from Australia, and of course the area manager Navitas in Sri Lanka, Dion, for coming on a Sunday, sparing their valuable time. And I appreciate the participation, and of course all of you taking time off on a Sunday to listen to us. So I will first make my presentation all about the Australian Foundation Year program that we offer at AIBS. And I will also briefly walk you through with two institutions whom we have partnered with. And after that, I will hand over to our colleagues from Australia, who will talk more about their particular institutions. So what is the Australian Foundation Year? It's an internationally accredited pre-university program which was developed and accredited with 9 affiliated college of universities from Australia as a pathway program which you can follow to complete your undergraduate studies. Now, for whom is this AFY? I use the acronym AFY for the Australian Foundation Year. So anyone who has completed GCE O-level exams, the local curriculum, or the Edexcel or the Cambridge GCSE, or those students who have gone through the A-level process, haven't really enjoyed good results, and a bit kind of now tired of doing A-levels once again. So here is an opportunity for you to fast track your career and still achieve your objectives. And for those who also are very keen to, graduate at a very young age, I would say. So here is a qualification that helps you to achieve your objectives. After O-levels, maybe within 4 to 4.5 years, you should be able to complete a foreign degree if you follow the Australian Foundation Year program. Now, in terms of the entry criteria, as I said, primarily we are looking for those students who have completed the National Curriculum GCE O-level or the IGCSE SC. You need to have a minimum of 5 credit passes or C grades. Obviously, if you have better grades, that's fantastic. Within those 5 credit passes, you need to make sure that you have English and mathematics. So that's a mandatory requirement as far as entry criteria for the Australian Foundation Year. Now let's see how this works. So if you have the entry criteria, obviously you are entitled to join into this Australian Foundation Year program, which is generally delivered over a period of 8 months and 2 semesters. So roughly it's broken into 2 semesters of 4 months each. And it's a face-to-face delivery program, but over the last 2 years, we have fine-tuned the entire model where we are able to deliver 100% online or even in the form of a blended delivery. So you have nothing to worry, even if we have situations where we go into a lockdown. I hope not in the future. You are able to complete your program without being disrupted within this planned 2-semester duration. Once you complete the entire program, AIBS will issue the certificate and the transcripts, which you can use to secure your next level of study, your planned program, which is what we are going to discuss with your partners today, your next steps in the higher education chain. Now, I'll just walk you through a little slide presentation, which gives you a good understanding of how you can progress using the Australian Foundation Year. So here we have the qualification, the Australian Foundation Year, and the entry criteria, as I said, is GCE O-level or IGCSE. Now, primarily you can have three streams or 3 routes under this program. So the first one is we have partnered with a set of colleges which are affiliated colleges with a number of very high-ranked universities in Australia. There are 7 of them. And you can see some of them are Deakin University, University of Adelaide, La Trobe University, and each of these universities have an affiliated college. And you can go into this affiliated college and study a diploma. This diploma is equivalent to the first year of the university degree. Now, why do they have this? The diploma is, my colleagues will explain to you even better. The diplomas are for students like all of you who have come from a very, structured study system. Our secondary schools, we get a lot of attention from our teachers. We have small groups in our classrooms, and that's the same style that the colleges who are offering the diploma, that's how they deliver. So you have maybe 30, 40 maximum in a cohort, and you get a lot of personal attention. So that's a nice transition for you from your secondary school into the university environment. Now, once you complete the diploma, this diploma is actually the first year curriculum of the university degree. Once you complete the diploma, you got a guaranteed entry into the year 2 in the university. So if you do the diploma at Deakin College, you transfer to Deakin University. If you do the diploma at Edith Cowan College, you transfer to the Edith Cowan University. Similarly, La Trobe College will transfer you to La Trobe University. Now, these are guaranteed transfers, provided, of course, you meet your the grade point average. Once you complete your exams, you get a seat in the university without a problem. And then you study the second year and the third year. So there is no, the duration is not changed. It's just that you are doing a diploma and then you step into year 2 and complete with the year 3. And most of these colleges, I would say 90% of the colleges are housed inside the university. As a result, you get the university environment, you have the ability to use all the university resources. As I said, my colleagues from Australia will explain to you better and the opportunities of these. So we have, under this group, we have 7 colleges which you can study at and transfer to universities in Australia. Then we also have another route where specifically the University of Tasmania, which is from Tasmania in Australia. There's a separate pathway college called UTAS International Pathway College. So like the earlier group, you can study the diploma after our Australian foundation year and then go into the University of Tasmania in Australia. The third route is we have a university called Charles Darwin University, which is in the Northern Territory. It also has an affiliated college called Charles Darwin International College. And similarly, we'll offer you the diploma that will transfer you to the Charles Darwin University. Now, generally, you have to get a simple pass in the Australian foundation year for you to progress. However, if you have a slightly higher achievement, say 70% or more in your Australian foundation year, if you have a score of 70% or more, you can actually go directly into the year one of the Charles Darwin University in Australia. So this is the offering that we give you. This is the pathway that we offer you using the Australian foundation year at AIBS. Okay. So if you have further questions, we can talk about all this after the presentations of our partners. We can get into the Q&A. Right. Now, in terms of the Australian foundation year, we have 3 streams. We have foundation in science, we have foundation in business, and foundation in engineering. In the next semester, we plan to introduce the ICT foundation as well. So we will be able to cover all the progression opportunities, the streams that you want to pursue as your higher education careers. Now, every stream has 8 modules or units, and there are 4 core units which you have to mandatorily take, and then we have 4 electives. Those electives can be taken based on the particular stream that you want to. So if you are wanting to do science, it might be chemistry, biology, and a few additional units. And you have to take 4 units in each semester. 2 of those are electives and 2 of those are core units. So this is how the foundation, Australian foundation year is structured. Now, once you complete the Australian foundation year, as I said, you get a transcript and a certificate from us, from AIBS, and then you will be able to transfer to the particular affiliated college which you want to pursue. So as I said, if you want to go to Edith Cowan University in Perth, Western Australia, you transfer to the Edith Cowan College first, do the diploma, and then get automatically transferred to the Edith Cowan University. So likewise, La Trobe College to the La Trobe University. And in the event, now we have gone through a lot of disruption in our studies over the last 2 years. So all these colleges have offered for you to study. Like AIBS, they are also able to give you online studies. So in the event, if for some reason there is an eruption of the pandemic again, things are improving definitely in Australia. Over the next couple of months, you will see students going over to Australia. But for some reason, if there is a disruption, again, you can continue your higher education studies without any issue by studying online. And some of these colleges and universities have also given special concessions if you were to continue study online. And you might also possibly hear about scholarship opportunities from the universities itself when you transfer from the college to the university. So there is a lot of concessions, a lot of opportunities for you in terms of scholarships, concessions, bursaries, whatever we may call it. Right. Now, in terms of the program, it's a very affordable, I would say very competitively priced course. As I said, the duration is 8 months. You can fast track. So the total cost of the Australian foundation year is 315,000 rupees, which is broken down into 30,000 rupees a non-refundable registration fee. And then we have the course fee. And this course fee can be paid in 2 installments if you wish to over the 2 semesters. So you can pay 50% of the course fee at the beginning of the first semester, which is 142,500. And then you can pay the second semester fees at the beginning of the second semester. And you can make use of this structured plan. So broadly, in a nutshell, this is what the Australian Foundation Year is all about. It's a very nicely structured program. All of you will really enjoy. And we have all the resources in-house to deliver these qualifications. Very nice, highly qualified panel of lecturers who also have certain backgrounds from Australia. Some of them are educated in Australia, so they can really share their experience of studying in Australia when you start studying with AIBS, right? So now I'm going to spend a little, maybe another few minutes, just to talk about 2 particular pathway institutions that the Australian Foundation Year can take you to. And I leave the balance to be described by our partners who are participating today. So the first of such institution is the Charles Darwin University in the Northern Territory in Australia. So if you look at the map of Australia, this is what you can see. Darwin is in the northern part of Australia, right? You all are very familiar with the southern and the western part, Perth and south eastern part, Melbourne, Sydney, all that. But there is Darwin, which is very, very fastly developing territory. And it's called the Australia's gateway to Asia because you find that it's pretty close to Singapore, Singapore, Manila, Jakarta, and so on. So sometimes it probably is even closer than going to Melbourne and Sydney, right? And Northern Territory is considered a regional territory. So Australia wants a lot of students to come to these regional territories to study. My partners here will, especially Ms. Irene Mujumdar will explain about Western Australia as a regional territory. So Darwin is also, the Northern Territory is considered a regional territory, and as a result, for higher education and migration purposes, you will get certain additional concessions. So you have longer duration of post-study work rights if you have completed your studies in the Northern Territory. Now, Charles Darwin University offers a wide range of courses, what I have listed here. It's a very resource centered or resource rich territory. There's a lot of natural resources in Darwin. So as a result, there's a lot of engineering and IT related requirements in that area. So anybody who is studying engineering and ICT, Northern Territory or Charles Darwin University is a good place to select, but you can even study the other areas as well. And the largest or the main campus is called the Casuarina campus, which is just 12 kilometers from the city center by the beach in a sprawling parkland of 56 hectares. So it's a fantastic, campus, very large. So you can do a lot of roaming around if you do go to Charles Darwin universities. Now, importantly, if you look at the employment prospects in the Northern Territory, especially those graduates from Charles Darwin University, so there is a regular survey done by a body called the Quality Indicators for Learning and Teaching, QUILT, in Australia. And it says full-time employment for undergraduate students of Charles Darwin University is 82.2%, which is slightly higher than the national average. So similarly for postgraduate students also, quite a high percentage in terms of employment. And as I said, particularly for the engineering graduates, it's 92.7, almost 10% above the national average. So as I said, employment opportunities for those graduates passing out from Charles Darwin University is also very good. The second institution I want to talk to you is University of Tasmania. So where is Tasmania? So Charles Darwin was on the northern side. This is on the southeastern side. It's an island which is slightly probably bigger than Sri Lanka. Just about a little over an hour's flying time from Melbourne, and you get regular, you can go by ferry, you can fly into Tasmania. And Tasmania again is, as I said, 68,000 square kilometers, slightly bigger than Sri Lanka. But Tasmania is a coastal, it's an island again, and there's a lot of activities relating to marine life, marine engineering or things like that. That's what Tasmania is very famous for. There's a lot of agriculture and food processing, mining and mineral processing as well. But Tasmania is very driven relating to their marine related activities. Now, if you take the University of Tasmania, that's the only university in the whole of the state of Tasmania, and it's a very good university. And it offers a wide range of degree options as well. But as I said, aquaculture, marine science, and marine engineering is their forte, but they do have a medicine as well. University of Tasmania or the Tasmania has a very good med school, but you can also pursue areas like hard sciences, physics, chemistry, ICT, or the business streams as well. Now, UTAS, we call it UTAS, which is a popular name, is quite well accepted globally as a high-ranking, relatively high-ranking university, both in the world and in the Asia-Pacific region. And even if you take the subject matter, there is a ranking, and you can see a lot of areas that they focus on: ocean research, marine and freshwater biology, fisheries, oceanography. That's the strength of the University of Tasmania, because Tasmania as a state is very, very much involved in that. And Tasmania is also considered a regional territory. So therefore, you will get those concessions as a student, as I told you, which is also applicable to the other regional territories as well. University of Tasmania has some world-class facilities. You can see some of them here on the slide. And it's a very nice environment again. Pretty much like, I would say, climate is in the colder days like Noorelia. You can reflect Noorelia. If you go to Tasmania, there is a lot of mountains in Tasmania. So you won't miss Sri Lanka. You can think that you are in Noorelia. In terms of scholarships, yeah, UTAS do offer some scholarships. You can see there's a Tasmanian International Scholarship, which is called the TIS. And of course, you need it's all academic merit-based scholarship. So if you have achieved good grades in your studies, you will be able to make use of this scholarship. There are also family bursaries. And if you're stepping up from your undergraduate to postgraduate, there will be some scholarship opportunities. What is also significant in Tasmania is its cost of living compared to, say, a much more cosmopolitan city like Melbourne. Is quite cheap. They say it's almost 12% cheaper than living in Melbourne. So there is some sort of cost saving when it comes to studying and living in Tasmania. So broadly, this is what University of Tasmania and Tasmania is all about. If you want more details, we are happy to share with you about the two destinations that or the institutions that I spoke of. So thank you very much for listening to me, this short presentation. And you will now hear from our partners. I would now hand over the proceedings to the area manager for Navitas in Sri Lanka, Ms. Dion Gregory. I will stop sharing now. Dion, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. De Silva. So good morning to all our students, parents, whoever who has joined in today. Thank you so much to Mr. De Silva, Oshanthi, Shehan, and the team at AIBS as well. And to my dear colleagues, Irene and Gary, who has taken the time on a Sunday to join in. So without further ado, I will like to give the session next to Irene to present on Edith Cowan College. So Irene, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'll just, and thank you so much for also being here on a Sunday, because I know we all have family time and lots going on Sundays. Thank you, Dion. Thank you, Hiran. Thank you, AIBS, for organizing this wonderful session. And thank you to everyone on the call. I will try and keep it short because I know that you probably have questions which we'll be able to answer at a later stage. So I'm going to share my screen if you don't mind, just give me a second. And I think I'm going to start from the beginning. So I'll just remove the elephant out of the room. Probably some of you see headlines or not. If you don't see headlines, that's a good thing, because sometimes news can be exciting, sometimes it can be draining. But Perth, Western Australia, we are currently waiting on our borders to open, and we hope that that is going to happen soon. We were meant to initially start on February 5th, but due to the rise in the Omicron cases, the government has decided to delay it a bit. I do not have a date yet, but that is something that everyone on this call shouldn't worry about, because the beauty about it is that you're starting off at AIBS. And once you complete your studies at AIBS, Edith Cowan College in Perth, Western Australia will be ready for you. So Perth is still the place to be. So Perth is generally a city which is not too big, but also not small. And I came to Australia so many years ago, what, 12, 13 years ago now, and I've visited the other cities, and my family and I chose to settle in Perth. And I'll explain to you why in a bit. I'm also an alumni of Edith Cowan University, and having lived and stayed in Perth, Western Australia, there are so many benefits to staying in this city. And by there, that bright yellow, there's a reason for it. We are a sunny state, but not in the way like too hot or too cold. It's just generally, most of the days are blue skies, even when it's considered winter. When you're in Perth, the weather is just, in most cases, user-friendly, and that is a strength that we have amongst our students and even tourists. The thing that I just need to mention in terms of why Perth, Western Australia, right now with the Omicron virus, which I know, and COVID in general, we don't know what the next variant is gonna be. I know parents, students do think about it. I mean, this is something that is worldwide. So as the government prepares to open the borders to our wonderful students whom we have missed so much, there are things that they're doing in the background, like investing in the hospital system to ensure that when our borders open, our hospitals will be able to cope, and you as a student who's coming to study in Australia, you will be taken care of. So that is just something that I need to highlight there. The other thing that the government, Western Australian government is doing, they are aware that we have been in we've been close to the rest of the world for like 2 years and counting, but they are planning for the reopening, and they're not just planning for the reopening just by saying that, yeah, we're going to reopen, but they're also putting money. They're putting money to ensure that our international students who come back into the country are taken care of. Right now, there's so many conversations around accommodation, bursary offered by the state. There are conversations around making sure that the airport and the welcome center at the airport for our students is ready. Again, this is being organized by the state. And there are also conversations around, so there's accommodation, and there's one other thing, I don't know, I'm going to remember and I'll come back to that. But those are the conversations every day. Oh yeah, offering English programs to, students who have just probably missed out on the English entry requirements. So all these things are not even being discussed at university or college level. This is being discussed at the state level. So it just shows you the way you as our student is really important to Western Australia, and we cannot wait to have you back when it is safe and ready to do so. The other thing, as we have been going through this pandemic, the Western Australian state has continued to do extremely well. And I can tell what the government is trying to do. They're trying to balance the economy and the health of the people, and the health of the people being you when you come in, and even the health of the people who are in Western Australia as we speak. So far, the 5 things that have really been going on well for Western Australia have been highlighted here, but for your sake, I'm just going to talk about the first 2. So the first one is that fastest economic growth in 8 years, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal for you because once you finish your AIBS foundation program, you come into Edith Cowan College, do the diploma year 2, which leads into second year of Edith Cowan University. You will be a student when you're at the college, and of course at the university, you are allowed to work part-time. You're allowed to work part-time right now. Some students are even allowed to work full-time, but the focus has to be on your studies because you have to maintain your progression. This means with the economy being strong, that means that it is easier for you to get a part-time job. Currently, I don't know of any international student who does not have a job in Perth, Western Australia. It takes around about 4 to 6 months. Right now, probably even shorter. But once you get that job, at least you're assured you'll have that job as you study. And also once you graduate and now you get access to your 3 years post-study work right visa, I'll talk about that in a bit, you are also assured of getting at least a job within your field because the economy is strong and because the employment rate is so high. Right now, we have the lowest unemployment rate since whatever 10 years ago, and we are looking at unemployment rate that is as low as 3.8%, as you can see on the screen there. The other thing which I just mentioned a bit earlier, we have 3 years post-study work right visa. So we are considered a regional area, and I do not want anybody to think that regional equals to rural. It is not. As you can see from the picture there, it's a modern city, a city with everything and more that you can think of. We always say that we have everything, but not as big as Melbourne or Sydney. And we are so happy about that because I feel for a student life, we have that balance that is right for you. So once you graduate from Edith Cowan University, from your bachelor degree, you'll have 3 years post-study work visa. During the 3 years, you can opt to work and save money. You know, if you're planning to go back home, then you go back home, or you can work and travel. I did travel when I was doing my post-study work visa. During that period, I was saving and then traveling because I was curious to see the rest of Australia and also to see other parts of Asia. The other thing that students do during this period is at that time they think about, look, I love this country so much. I love Western Australia. How can I settle in Western Australia? So this is the time that you can start thinking of engaging a migration agent to help you with your visa on how to settle in Western Australia. So I'm just going to, and if you end up doing your master's after your bachelor degree, I do know that I have so many students friends from Sri Lanka who did their bachelor straight into their master's. You will get a 4 years post-study work visa, just putting that out there. In terms of living costs, if you compare living costs, when you compare it to Melbourne and Sydney, we are definitely cheaper than the major cities like Melbourne, Sydney, and to some extent Brisbane. But we also have discounts for our students. So there's a 40% discount on public transport for students as long as you are a student. So once you land in Australia and you go through orientation and your enrollment is all set, the 40% discount on public transport checks in. Students enjoy this so much and they don't realize that they have a good deal up until they graduate, because when you graduate, you start paying full fees. And then that is the time you go like, whoa, I really did have a good deal. So I'll just quickly show you a short video on why Perth, Western Australia. Thank you. And I will progress on. So I'll just quickly talk about the university. Oops. Yeah, so why Edith Cowan University? Edith Cowan University is a well-known brand in Sri Lanka. We have a campus, by the way, in Sri Lanka, as many of you may know. But the beauty about Edith Cowan University, as I said, I'm an alumni, and one of the biggest thing is the fact that it is internationally recognized. A young university.
Charles Darwin. Darwin. Northern side.
Can you all?
I'm really sorry, Irene, about it.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, that was actually the sound of my voice can sometimes be too much. So that was a good break. Anyway, so you learn from the best, internationally recognized. But the biggest thing that I'd like to encourage you, why you should choose Edith Cowan College leading to ECU, is the fact that they have a supportive learning environment. It is such a multicultural campus that our students always go like, whenever I look around, I just feel like I'm seeing every part of the world represented, and that is a good thing. The other thing for our students who care about ranking, and you should care about ranking, there are two things that I would encourage you to care about. Not so much about the ranking, but the professional recognition of your course. Is your course recognized when you are choosing a course? In terms of the ranking, the only reason as to why you should care about ranking is to ascertain that you're not going to a Mickey Mouse university or institution. You are going into a university that is publicly recognized by the government. So ECU is a public university. And also, if you were to travel to any other part of the world and you said, okay, I've studied at Edith Cowan University, they're able to go to the Times Higher University ranking and go like, oh yeah, we see it. There is Edith Cowan University. So we are part of that and are proud of that. We are considered a top university when it comes to teaching quality, and that has been decided by our students. We have 37 universities in public universities in Australia, and we are top when it comes to teaching quality for undergraduate courses. Why Edith Cowan College? So we have competitive fees and scholarships. I must appreciate that I know it's not cheap to study overseas. Having been an international student, I get it. The thing that I like though about Australia is if your parents can organize themselves and make sure that they pay for your tuition fees and a bit of your living expenses, when you're working part-time, at least you're able to kind of pay for some of your living expenses, and that really does help. So the scholarships are also really good. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. You have peace of mind. So with the AIBS program, for example, the foundation year, you are coming into diploma year 2, such a great transition period for you. So you come from high school where there's a lot of spoon feeding, and then you go into AIBS where there is, the kind of trying to gently getting you into the culture of doing self-study, and all that. And then when you come to the college, the sort of transition that you're getting is that you're getting that additional support in a university environment whereby you have access and facilities access to the university facilities, going there to the library and everything. So you're kind of having the best of both worlds through that transition. And then on completion of that, then of course, now boom, you get into second year of uni where you have to do most of the things by yourself. So someone, I like the way Hiran kept on mentioning what's going to happen, what if we go into lockdown and all that. COVID, the situation is still here. And as a college, we are always prepared. If, for example, we do offer face-to-face, but if for some reason you cannot study face-to-face, like right now, you finished your foundation and you're starting at the college and you still can't start face-to-face for whatever reason, we will offer you virtual classes until you're able to transition back on campus. And then our diploma is the first year of Edith Cowan University. So on completion of that, you're guaranteed second year into Edith Cowan University. We have flexible intakes, and this is important towards you finishing your degree as quickly as possible. Because unlike the university where they have February and July, in most cases, we have February, June, and October for most of our courses. I've talked about our small classes and the support that we give you. And the event that you're this young person who's still under 18 and is so determined to come and study in Australia, we do accept under 18 students. ECU does not, but usually the students can start off with us in diploma year 2. And then by the time they're going to ECU, they're in second year of university. Finally, this is a big one. We are on Edith Cowan University campus, and there's a picture right there. That is where the college is. This is where the university is. You can tell right there. I can see the library there. So this is building 80 of Edith Cowan University campus. And it's located in such a nice place because you have access to the train, you have access to some shopping centers around here. So Joondalup is actually a really good city. In terms of our courses, so I'll just explain how our courses work quite quickly. Once you do the Australian Foundation Year program, that is AIBS program, you can see it's right there. You go into second year of Edith Cowan College. You go into diploma year 2 of Edith Cowan College. From the foundation year, you do not start in diploma year 1, no. You go directly into diploma year 2, which leads into second year of Edith Cowan University. So you'll be saving time and not wasting any time along the way with the additional support. These are the courses that we have. I am more than happy through Hiran to share this PowerPoint with you later. But looking at the courses, computing and IT, I know that's a popular course. In Sri Lanka, we have engineering, health studies, hospitality, communication, and commerce. So those are the major courses that we have. And those are the intakes and entry requirements, which I've already talked about. If you're getting into nursing and speech pathology, which is gonna be introduced in February 2023, that's the speech pathology bit, you'll require higher IELTS. So it doesn't matter what you got in your O-level English or the fact that you've completed the foundation year, you still have to do IELTS and achieve a 6.5 with no band below 6.5. And then when transferring to the university, if you'll need to do the IELTS again, if you didn't get the 7.0 initially, to achieve a 7.0 with no band below 7.0. Scholarships, I'm almost done, I promise. These are our scholarships right now. We are giving a 5,000 scholarship. So when you are accepting your offer, you get 4,000 off your trimester. So when you're paying your fees, you're paying less 4,000. And then when you re-enroll with us, you get another $1,000. In terms of merit scholarships, we do have, if a student completes the diploma, and by the way, most Sri Lankan students do perform very well in their diploma. If you get a WAM of 75% and above, when you go to Edith Cowan University, you're going to get 20% for the reduction, 20% reduction for your second year and third year. And if you're doing engineering, it will be 20% reduction for second, third, and fourth year. So that is me, I'm done. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer once all my colleagues have presented. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene. That was a very informative session about Perth, and I'm sure that you might have questions afterwards. So please do type them in the chat box and we'll take them afterwards. I would like to introduce Gary, who is looking after La Trobe College in Melbourne. So Gary, over to you.
Thank you, Dion, and good morning, everyone. Ayu Balwan, and greetings from Melbourne. I'll just share my screen. Okay, so we are La Trobe College Australia, based within, as Hiran mentioned earlier, we are based within the La Trobe University campus here in Melbourne. And Melbourne, as everyone knows, was voted the world's most livable city seven years in a row. Still one of the top most livable cities. Now, we're very happy to have our association with the Australian Foundation Year at AIBS. And we were one of the first colleges to approve the articulation from the foundation into our diploma program. I've made up a little graph here. I know that there are 3 intakes, April, July, and October. So it's very easy to and convenient to articulate into La Trobe College in Melbourne. If you start in April this year, you would articulate in March next year. If you start in July, it's June next year, and October is October. So we also offer 3 intakes per year, which are matching the Australian Foundation Year intakes in Sri Lanka. So it's a seamless transition from the foundation you articulate into our first year diploma program. And just to the little graph there will explain that leading on from diploma, you articulate into the second year of the La Trobe University degree. So diploma is first year of the degree. The subjects are taken directly from the degree. And I thought I'd give you a couple of little updates before I start on La Trobe. As you know, the Australian border opened on the 15th of December. We do have direct flights now from Sri Lanka into Melbourne. This is great news. And only a few days ago, the Australian Prime Minister announced a $650 Australian visa rebate for international students heading to Australia. So this visa rebate is available only for a limited period of 8 weeks, starting from 19th of January. So effectively, it's for the February intake. 630 Australian dollars, that is the visa fee. So basically, the visa fee has been waived and it's free to apply for an Australian student visa. So I'm not sure how much that is in rupees, Dion. It's in Sri Lankan rupees. Would it be around about 60,000 or 50,000 rupees? Or 600?
It's actually around close to 90,000 rupees, just guessing.
So 90,000 rupees, visa fee waived, but at the moment it's only being offered for the February intake. So it's a really great incentive on the part of the Australian government to encourage international students, and I'm sure in particular Sri Lankan students, to come back to Australia. And on behalf of La Trobe College Australia, I'm very happy to announce that we are providing free airport pickup service. After you've accepted your offer, you simply go online to that URL and you can book the pickup. Just provide your flight and the arrival time. We will arrange airport pickup. Again, this is being offered at the moment only for the February intake, and it does ensure a very safe service to your place of residence or to the halls if you're staying on campus. So just a couple of little new incentives, the visa waiver, $630 around about, and the free airport pickup service. And I just couldn't help putting that in because you won't be picked up in a tuk-tuk, but as Dion knows, that is my favourite mode of transportation in Sri Lanka, and we do not have them here in Melbourne, but I wish we did have them in Melbourne. I absolutely love tuk-tuks, so you'll be met by a proper vehicle, don't worry. Just a little bit of information about La Trobe campus. La Trobe College is located within the campus with full access to university laboratories and facilities, including the library, all of the sporting facilities. La Trobe is the largest university campus in the state of Victoria, 267 hectares. So it's basically a satellite city, 1.5 times the size of Melbourne CBD. There's been massive infrastructure building projects in La Trobe. It just never ends. At the moment, we are jointly partnering with the Victorian State Government on the $5 billion University City of the Future. So if you Google University City of the Future, it's a $5 billion investment and it's massive infrastructure. I won't go through all of that, but one of the components of that $5 billion University City of the Future is our brand new accommodation, which in itself was $100 million. It's environmentally friendly. I think it's aiming to be carbon neutral, I should say. It's wonderful accommodation on campus. And best of all, it's a 2-minute walk from La Trobe College. So you'll never be late for your lectures, or you'll never have an excuse for being late for your lectures. Now, in terms of rankings, La Trobe is in the top 1% of universities in the world in the latest Times Higher Education. But I thought I'd just mention that we are number 1 in the Times Higher Education impact rankings in the category of gender equality. So we're very happy. Impact rankings are about health and well-being, sustainability, gender equality. We're very pleased to be ranked number 1 globally in the world, but we are in the top 1% globally. I think both Hiran and Irene spoke a little bit about diploma and bachelor, and I know when I'm in Sri Lanka, often parents will ask me, you know, if the subjects are the same as first-year degree and you're on the same campus and you have the same facilities and the duration is the same, how is diploma different? How is diploma different to bachelor degree? So I made up a little slide, and there are 5 key points here. The entry requirement is slightly lower for diploma than for bachelor. The fee is slightly lower than for bachelor. And Hiran mentioned this in his introduction, and I'm sure it's the same at Edith Cowan College as well, that the class sizes are smaller. And compared to bachelor degree, which can have 100 or even 200 students in a large lecture theatre, our classes are around about 20 students. So what that means for you, it's much more interactive, it's friendlier, it's just a little bit more hand-holding on our part. And you do get more hours in class per week. So the same subject in the first year of the degree would be 3 hours per week. That same subject is 4 hours in diploma. Typically, you're taking 4 subjects, so it's 16 hours in diploma and only 12 in the bachelor degree. So those extra 4 hours per week of hands-on small class size tuition are really beneficial for you as a student. And also, and I'll speak a little bit about scholarships later, but we do offer a progression scholarship opportunity from diploma. So I'll go into more detail about that. So we have 3 types of scholarship at the moment at La Trobe College, Australia. Firstly, for diploma, we have the Study Support Scholarship. And the girl in the photo was actually one of our diploma students. She is from Sri Lanka, and she actually was awarded one of this scholarship and also a progression scholarship for 30%. So the Study Support Scholarship is for the diploma itself. So you can be awarded this based on academic merit on your grades achieved in the AIBS Australian Foundation year. So it's based on academic merit. The total value is $4,000, effectively $500 deducted. It is paid as a deduction from the tuition fee. So No application form is required. You do need an unconditional offer, and the offer has to be accepted within 2 weeks of the scholarship letter being issued. So I've actually made up a slide about our progression scholarship. So the second scholarship is the progression scholarship. This scholarship is awarded for the La Trobe University bachelor degree. So after your diploma, remember you transfer into the second year of the degree. A couple of key points about this scholarship. It is awarded for year 2 and for year 3. So it's a 2-year scholarship. Or if you're going on to engineering, it's for year 2, 3, and year 4. Another key point, it is guaranteed for that duration. You are not required to maintain your grades at 80, 90% in order to keep the scholarship from year to year to year. Once you achieve this scholarship, which will be based on your grades in the La Trobe College Diploma Program, the scholarship is yours until the end of the degree. Again, it's paid as a deduction from the school fees. What grades do you need to get this? In the diploma, to get the 20% scholarship, you need an average of 55% in diploma. So just add up the 8 diploma subjects and divide it, and that's your average. To get the 25% scholarship, you need an average of 70%, and for the maximum 30% scholarship, you need 75% in your diploma. Now, this looks a little complicated, but if you look briefly, I've tried to translate it into Sri Lankan rupees. So the full fee for the diploma and Bachelor of Business would be 150 lakhs. So I think it's 1.5 million. With the 20% scholarship, it is 1.3. With the 25%, it is 1.2 million. And with the 30% scholarship, it is 1.1. So you can see that you're saving about 40 lakh by getting the 30% scholarship. Built into this, in that diploma line, that has been reduced by the $4,000 diploma study support scholarship. So one of the great things about La Trobe is you can actually package the scholarships. You can combine the study support scholarship with the progression scholarship to combine the savings. And I think a key point about the progression scholarship, the word is achievability. If you have a look at that, you only need 55%, which is basically simple pass, in order to be guaranteed the 20% scholarship. Oh, another key point, there is no quota on these scholarships, so they will not run out. If you achieve 55%, you are guaranteed the scholarship. So you can work towards achieving the scholarship, safe in the knowledge that you will definitely get it if you hit the mark. And 55% is a very achievable level. Hopefully you could go for the 30% scholarship. You would need 75% in your diploma. And finally, the third scholarship we're offering here at La Trobe College is the Pathway to Victoria Scholarship. This has been made possible by the Victorian government, and it is a $2,500 scholarship. This is credited at the end of the first semester towards your La Trobe fees. So it is effectively a $2,500 credit towards your bachelor fee. So it's not intended for the diploma. It is actually credited towards your bachelor. So when you transfer into the second year of your La Trobe bachelor degree, hopefully you've got the 30% scholarship plus the $2,500 Pathway to Victoria scholarship. So 3 key scholarships: the diploma scholarship, $4,000, the progression scholarships up to 30%, and the Pathway to Victoria scholarship made available courtesy of the Victorian government. So we're very grateful for this. I'll just briefly run through our courses. I think our most popular course is the Diploma of Health Sciences, and it does lead to a range of degrees, but the most popular for Sri Lankans is nursing. There is actually a shortage of nurses in Australia at the moment, so the employability prospect is extremely good. And I do have a video, but I have no idea if this will actually play. This is a Sri Lankan student of ours. Her name is Dewi, and she is from Kandy. I'll try to play it, but Dion, if the sound doesn't come through, just let me know. Those listening can actually check out the URL or just Google YouTube Dewi La Trobe College.
It's playing, right?
So my name is Devi, and I'm from Candy, so it's
Gary, the audio is not great.
Okay. I think we'll skip the video, but Dewi was actually a scholarship winner. She got, from memory, the 25% scholarship for the Bachelor of Nursing. And she speaks glowingly about the La Trobe Clinical School model. She's currently in her 3rd and final year, and she's around about 60% plus is actually of the nursing degree is taught in a clinical setting, in situ at the hospital. So we have classrooms embedded within 5 hospitals in Melbourne. I think we're the only Melbourne university to employ this model. It's a great benefit to the students because you don't need to run backwards and forwards from multiple hospitals around Melbourne. You can get to your class in a couple of minutes because your class will also be in many of your classes, not all of them will be in the hospital itself. I'll just skip forward to Diploma of Psychology, less popular for Sri Lankans, but increasingly popular in Australia. Unlimited places and actually a fantastic degree. And you only need an average mark of 50 in the diploma. So basically simple pass. You do have to go on to a Master of Psychology to get accreditation. We have a Diploma of Bioscience, popular amongst Sri Lankans going on to biomedical science and intending to become a doctor. This would be the pathway. Diploma of Engineering, Diploma of Media and Communication. We've had a few Sri Lankans for this. We do have a production studio based here on campus. It leads to journalism, media, film directing, script writing, screen, everything. The students who do this are amazingly articulate. We love our media students. Business has always been popular. It leads to every type of business degree, accounting, finance, hospitality, sports management. Diploma of Information Technology, which of course leads on to information technology and also to the Bachelor of Cyber Security, one of the most popular degrees. And I should also mention that the Diploma of Business leads on to what is the most popular degree in the business faculty, the Bachelor of Business Analytics. And there are just amazing job opportunities in that whole data analytics, data mining, and business analytics field here in Australia. In fact, the professor from the data analytics faculty told me that there were more new jobs created in Australia in data analytics last year than in the field of accounting, which is an astonishing statistic. So the pathway to that is via the Diploma of Business. And also cybersecurity is just amazingly popular at the moment as well. And I think that's owing to the growth in hacking and cybercrime. So the criminals get clever, we have to be clever. Hiran mentioned in his introduction that we do make available online learning. So every subject at La Trobe College is taught in dual mode. Dual mode means that it is taught physically on the campus, face-to-face, and simultaneously online. So we also offer the flexibility to mix and match online and on-campus modes. So often I find that students will take 2 subjects face-to-face and 1 subject online. Simply, it's more convenient. They may have a commitment, they may have a part-time job on a Friday, so they have time to log in, but they don't have time for the class on campus. I think we highly recommend on campus and face-to-face at all times. It's more, I think during the lockdowns, it was extremely useful, but now that the lockdown in Melbourne has finished and the borders are open here in Melbourne, I think almost 98% of students are doing face-to-face. But it's a good plan B, it's a backup plan. And all of our lectures are recorded. So in the worst case scenario, you can always listen in at any time to the lecture and the tutorial that you miss. But of course, we really encourage students to never miss any classes at all. So we do have an IELTS requirement for the diploma. It is 5.5, no band less than 5.5 in business and IT. For engineering, health science, nursing, bioscience, psychology, it is 6. I should just mention, if you are packaging with the Bachelor of Nursing, you do need an overall IELTS of 7.0, no band less than 7. If you have an overall 6.5, no band less than 6.5, we're happy to package you with the Bachelor of Nursing. We will issue the package visa. However, you would be required to retake IELTS before the start of the Bachelor of Nursing degree. So we offer free IELTS preparation here at La Trobe College as a courtesy to that group of students. And you would definitely have to achieve an overall 7, no band less than 7, before the start date of the bachelor degree. However, the good news, you can come to Melbourne, you can study your diploma for 8 to 12 months and take the IELTS, the free complimentary IELTS preparation classes simultaneously with your diploma. So I won't go into that. Fees are on our website. So my contact details are there. I know that Sri Lankans love to use WhatsApp, so please feel free to WhatsApp me at any time and or send me an email. And I'm very happy to take any questions. That's it from me.
Thank you so much. That was a very informative session. So if anybody has any questions about Melbourne or La Trobe College and the pathways, feel free to drop in your questions in the chat box, or we'll take it afterwards. Just before we wrap up the session, I would also like to talk a little bit about Adelaide. So we have one more pathway college, which is Ainsbury College. I will just give a little bit of introduction about Ainsbury and its pathways as well. Just give me a second, I'll just pull up my screen. So this is Ainsbury College, based in Adelaide, South Australia. So Ainsbury College has pathways to 3 different universities. As you can see, you have the University of Adelaide, which is one of the prestigious group of 8 universities in Australia. We also have the partnership with Flinders University in Adelaide and the University of South Australia as well. So just to give you a little bit of introduction about the University of Adelaide. So University of Adelaide is the 3rd oldest university in Australia, and it's also a group of 8 university, which is one of the prestigious universities in Australia. So as you can see, there are a little bit of stats over here about the University of Adelaide, and a little bit about the rankings as well. So as you can see, they are based 111 Times Education World Ranking, as well as QS World Rankings and all these other ranking systems as well. The next, we have the University of South Australia. The University of South Australia is also ranked quite well in the world rankings, as well as the Australian rankings as well, and ranked the world's top 50 under 50. So the University of South Australia is popular for a lot of different programs, especially for business, because they have a very good ranking system, as you can see. Top 5 young universities in Australia, as well as the AAC-SB accreditation for the business faculty as well. And the 3rd university that you can partner into is the Flinders University, which is also based in South Australia. So as you can see, this is a little bit about where Flinders University is based. So just to give you an idea, now if you take Adelaide in general, you have all 3 universities based on the city as well. So you have your city campuses, and then you have the main campuses located around 15 to 20 minutes away from the city center. So based on the programs that you select, your campuses will be allocated, but it's very easy to get around. Even though Adelaide is quite a large state, it's a very small community. It's a very close community, and it's very easy for you to get around. This is again advantages of studying in South Australia, what Adelaide would look like. And this is South Australia. So you might have seen obviously a lot of presentations and pictures about Australia in general, but South Australia is just right below. And you can see the population is 1.4 million. It's also in terms of flight time, it's very easy to get around. So the shortest flight time would be to Melbourne, which is about an hour, actually roughly about 50 minutes. Then you have 2 hours to Sydney and 3 hours to Perth as well. Moving on in terms of weather, so it's very good weather actually. I personally like it whenever I do visit Adelaide as well. It's very nice. This is just to give you an idea what the weather would be like. And few more benefits when you're studying in Adelaide. So one of the benefits that the government has introduced is actually transportation. It's very important because you would want to know how much do I spend for my transport? Do I get any sort of benefits, etc. Right? So in terms of public transportation, if you spend roughly about $51.50 a month, so you have a Metro card, you have unlimited travel anywhere in Adelaide, right? So these are the little benefits that the government has actually offered to all international students as well. You also have free Wi-Fi within Adelaide, especially the city centers. So you can obviously take much use of these opportunities. So why Adelaide? Adelaide is actually one of the fastest developing regional cities. And also you have a 3-year post-study work right opportunity that you get when you study in Adelaide. So that doesn't actually, it's not a disadvantage wherever you study. If you are in South Australia, no matter which university that you are studying at, you have a 3-year post-study work permit when you obviously take on an undergraduate or postgraduate program. 14% more affordable than other Australian cities. And you have top-ranked universities, especially in the top 1% worldwide, located, and many career outcomes. So at the below, you can see a small an image which gives you an idea of the average time taken to find your first job after graduation. This is within a couple of months. So as you can see, South Australia, it just takes you 2.2 months. It's actually one of the fastest. Because you have a lot of opportunities available. So right after graduation, you know that you will not be stranded or looking for many opportunities, for opportunities for long. You will obviously get something pretty quickly. Just a few more points. So you have Adelaide as the 3rd most livable city in the world. It's also ranked quite high on the Economist Intelligence magazine as well. One of the top 50 smart cities and the best in the world for 2022. So based on various ranking systems. Just a little bit more about Adelaide. This is an employer portal that we promote quite well, especially with our partner universities as well. So students get to connect through various Australian businesses, companies, etc., through this employer portal. It's highly recommended. Obviously, when they start university, they will be obviously joining so many career fairs, etc. So you will be introduced this portal, and you will be encouraged to take advantage of these, so that you will be able to get career opportunities not only after studies, but while you're studying as part-time jobs, etc. So it's good to build your skills and to develop yourself as a person as well. So this is something that you are encouraged to take advantage of, as well as all our universities take part of this in career services. So no matter which university you join in Adelaide, you will be introduced this, and it's one of the key aspects when you're obviously studying overseas. It's very important for you to know what are my career opportunities after studies. So why Ainsbury College, right? So Ainsbury College actually gives you the first year diploma pathway to 3 different universities in Adelaide. So upon completion of your AIBS foundation, you will be gaining entry into the first year, which is the bachelor's first year at our college. And upon completion of that, you will progress into the chosen university into your second year and therefore. So you have multiple intakes, February, June, and October intake available. You can discuss based on when your AIBS foundation is just about to complete, what are my immediate intake which I can join. You can speak to your AIBS team and get more information on that. You also have a lot of scholarship opportunities available when you're progressing to universities. I'll talk to you about that later on, as well as the PSW opportunities. So it's very important to know what are my opportunities after completing your undergraduate program in Australia. So that's another point over there. So this is just to give you an idea what the progression would look like. So upon completion of your foundation, you will get into the Ainsbury Diploma program over here, and you will then progress into the second year and third year and so forth. This is what our Ainsbury College looks like. So we are based in the city center, which is in Coghlan Street. We have pretty much all of these programs, but you will be joining our diploma first year since you will be completing the AIBS foundation. This is what some of the facilities would look like, the computer room, classrooms. So it's important to know that we have very small classroom sizes. So you don't have to deal with more than 20-25 students. You have, like my colleagues from other colleges did mention, it's important to know that you have that one-to-one attention with your lecturer. So it gives you a lot of confidence that you can blend into the environment. You can obviously get to know about the Australian education much more, not be confused or homesick or anything as sort. So it gives you that environment for you to adjust yourself in your first year before you progress into university. Yes, so this is also our accommodation services that we have. We have accommodation obviously at all our universities. We have our Ainsbury Home Away accommodation as well. So if there is any student who is under 18 years old, obviously you have your homestay accommodation program as well. We will help you in terms of finding the best accommodation for you at the best rate, and you have all your facilities and services provided in that. But when you progress into university, you have options of staying on campus at the university or off campus as well. Again, we will be helping you in terms of your accommodation, so you don't have to worry about that. This is again to give you an idea what type of accommodation services, accommodation options that are available. You have your student lodge, you have homestay, apartments, residencies, independent accommodation like private accommodation. And you can see the rates are also mentioned for various accommodation options as well. But as and when you're planning to transfer to Adelaide, feel free to discuss with myself and with the AIBS team as well, and we will definitely recommend the best options for you. Just a couple of slides to give you an idea. And I would also like to finally touch base on the scholarships. So when you join Ainsbury for diploma, you will obviously know, or you will have an idea which university you want to progress through. So as you can see, progression scholarships are available for 2 universities at the moment. So we have the University of Adelaide. They offer the 25% scholarship for the entire duration of the program with them. So ideally, if you are a business student, you will come and do first year with us, and then you will do your second and third year with the university. So you have a 25% off from your second and third year. There is an eligibility criteria. You will need to maintain an 85% GPA. That's very important, so that the university can confirm your scholarship. Apart from that, they also have between a 5 to 10% scholarship available for students who are planning to accept their offer letters as quickly as possible. It's sort of an early bird scholarship. and you have the scholarship with the University of South Australia as well. So any student who maintains a minimum 85% GPA or above, they have an eligibility to apply for the University of South Australia scholarship, which is 50%. That's a very big reduction in terms of fees. Obviously, it's a very good encouragement for you all to maintain your grades with us, and you can apply for this scholarship as well. But if in case you don't make it up to 85% or plus, you also have an opportunity to gain the 15% progression scholarship. So don't worry, both scholarships are available, and you have 2 universities who are more than happy to offer that to you. Feel free to follow us on our social media pages. So you have Instagram, Facebook, etc. You can always contact me through the AIBS team as well, and I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dion. Thank you very much. And also Irene and Gary for those very, very insightful presentations. So before we open up for the Q&A, I just want to also reiterate that today we were happy to have Dion, Irene, and Gary representing, or at least speaking about 3 of the partner colleges. As I said in my presentation, we have 7 Navitas colleges we have partnered with. So these colleges are spread across Australia. There are more in like Deakin College in Melbourne. There's Curtin College in Western Australia. There's Griffith College in Queensland. Then I spoke about 2 institutions from Tasmania and in the Northern Territory. So the whole of Australia is quite well represented for AIBS Foundation year to progress. So if you want more information about the other colleges, our partners, our team at AIBS certainly will be able to enlighten you, give you more information. So I would like to open up for Q&A. I wish there were more. Anybody who wants to post on the chat box, you're still free to do that. Once I finish, I will give priority to the questions in the chat box first. And then if anybody wants to unmute and speak out, you are most certainly welcome to do so. So the first question I have here is Ridmi. I already got diploma in engineering. Is there any pathway for me in here? So Ridmi, we would like to know what this diploma is very clearly, because any diploma will not give you progression to the universities we spoke to, or at least we spoke about today. So I would like to know more details about your diploma. Is it something like the ACBT diploma that is delivered here in Sri Lanka? If so, that will have progression opportunities to Editcovan University, because there is an articulation arrangement. But if it is a diploma offered by state institutions or semi-government institutions, I'm afraid we may not be able to place you directly. We will have to go to the respective universities and seek credits for your prior learning. And there will be an assessment process which we'll have to go through. And then they might say, okay, for the subjects you have taken under this diploma, you might get certain credits. But I cannot give you any assurances in relation to seamless transfer to universities. So you can certainly talk to our team members and open up a bit more, share your transcripts and certificate copies so that we can guide you a bit better. Right, who else is there on the chat box? Right. Shahan, I don't see any other questions. I don't know whether you can see.
Not at the moment.
No,
Mr.
not at the
Ira.
moment.
Yeah, so
So
one question.
we can open up. Shehan, do you have some questions for
Yeah,
clarification?
I will share some questions people have shared with me through WhatsApp. One
Right.
question.
You'll have to unmute.
One question that was asked was that now since we are offering Australian Foundation here in two streams mainly at AIBS, business and science. So if a student wants to like enroll into IT science related or engineering related pathway, what would we be recommending them?
Yeah, so engineering is not actually it's based on we are able to actually accommodate engineering students because the choice of mathematics subjects is the one that varies between business and science. So the double maths component, we are able to accommodate students who want to pursue the engineering. As I said, we plan to introduce the ICT stream in the next semester. We need to mobilize the ICT resources to start delivering the ICT. So the core subjects will be the same. It's just that the electives. So ICT will have a bit more ICT focused subjects, which we plan to introduce in the next semester. But engineering, we can accommodate those students because we are able to currently deliver the mathematics component and the physics component. So that's not a problem.
Right. So the other question is that now after completing the Australian Foundation year, they will be getting into to complete the diploma to the particular college.
Yes.
Based on the performance during their diploma level, are they able to get any bursary or a financial benefit when they're entering into the university?
I'm sure my colleagues, partners can add value to that. It varies from college to college. Gary, would you like to? So what they're saying, the question is, depending on the, so is it the foundation year performance or diploma year performance?
What they're asking is based on the performance during the diploma, during the college year.
Right. Okay. So that is getting scholarships into the university, right?
Exactly.
Year two. Right.
Yeah. So that's a great question. And we have two types of scholarship, the La Trobe University Progression Scholarship. So it's 20% or 25% or 30%. And it's based on academic merit. It's based on the grades in the diploma program. So if you have 55% in your diploma, you will get a 20% scholarship for the degree. If you have 70% in the diploma, you will get a 25% scholarship for the degree. And if you have a 75% average in your diploma, you will get the maximum 30% scholarship for the second and third year of the degree. Plus, remember I mentioned in the presentation about the Pathway to Victoria scholarship. So every student can get the $2,500 Pathway to Victoria scholarship, which is credited into their degree when they transfer from the diploma into the bachelor degree. But that's only $2,500. The big scholarship is the La Trobe University Progression Scholarship. And as I mentioned, there is no quota on those scholarships. They are unlimited. So if you hit those marks in terms of the diploma grades, which are extremely achievable and reasonable, then the scholarship is guaranteed for the entire duration of the degree. So definitely, yes, we have scholarships available here at La Trobe.
So at Edith Cowan College, we do have as well. If you achieve 75% in your diploma, weighted average on completion of your diploma, when you transfer to second year of Edith Cowan University, you're going to get 20% scholarship for the duration of your course at Edith Cowan University. So this is, as I said, most of our students from Sri Lanka perform very well anyway. They usually get this scholarship. So it's just good for you to be aware of it now so that at least you can just plan your future with an aim of getting that 20% scholarship for the duration of your undergraduate program at Edith Cowan University.
Thank you, Irene. Just a quick clarification from my side, both Gary and Irene. So if these students who have progressed to the Edith Cowan University and completed their bachelor's, and if they want to further progress further to a master's, I'm sure there might be even further concessions, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, so there is an alumni scholarship, there is international master scholarship as we speak. So certainly even at that level, usually there are further concessions.
Right. Thank you.
From the La Trobe University side, we also have a 10% alumni scholarship, which is given for the master's degree. Additionally, we also have the same 3-tiered scholarship program, the 20, the 25 and the 30% scholarship. Also, these scholarships are available for bachelor degrees and for master degrees. So, and it's based once again on academic merit and the same requirements, 55, 70 and 75%. So for the master degree, you can get a 30% scholarship based on your GPA in the La Trobe bachelor degree. And if you didn't even qualify for the 20% scholarship, you would still get the 10%, the alumni scholarship.
Right, right. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. Shehan, any other questions?
Yeah, thanks, Gary and Irene and Mr. Hiran clarifying those. And I have another question from Ryan. He's asking if we go with foundation to study diploma in Australia, are there any chance of getting visa refused from the visa officer? He's just curious whether they would give more prominence to direct applicants who would rather directly apply to the colleges. So that's what you want to clarify.
Right, I can just speak about that. I would say it's the other way around. There are many other factors the visa officers will consider in granting a visa. Our CEO is quite knowledgeable about granting visas, especially in the Australian environment and the conditions. But my experience indicates that one of the most important criteria, apart from the financial aspects, the visa officer would consider is how genuine is this student? Is the student is going to be a genuine student? When you say genuine student, is the student going over to Australia to pursue studies and not anything else? So by doing a foundation in Sri Lanka, the student has demonstrated the first step towards his or her plans to continue higher studies in Australia. So that itself is a plus, in my view, for a visa officer to consider in deciding on the visa grant. Of course, in addition to that, they will ask many questions about the careers that they want to pursue, the financial capacity that the parents or the sponsors would have. As opposed to somebody who is wanting to go directly into a university, the visa officer has a little doubt. So that is why we have this document called a statement of purpose, which is the most convincing document that the student has to write to convince the visa officer that he or she is genuinely going to study. So here, if you are going directly into the university first year, you are a freshman, and therefore the visa officer will want much more comforting factors to determine the visa grant, as opposed to a student who has already done pathway qualifications. I remember during the lockdown period, I advised most of our students, even the ones who are starting the diploma, start your qualifications now even online, because then the visa officers will consider your that initiative as a genuine desire to continue studies, not waiting till the borders open to go over. And I can now see, when I see the grants coming through, the Australian immigration is now granting visas to all those students who started online studies. I haven't seen any rejections. So that itself is a comforting factor for these visa officers to establish the bona fide of these students as a genuine student coming over to Australia.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Ann. I think that was a very comprehensive answer. Ryan, I hope you are clear about the potential risks that you were afraid about. Right. So I have another question, Mr. Ann, from Nadisha. He's asking now, after completing the first year diploma, they are transferring to the second year to that particular university from the college. Is it, can they complete the second and third year as well in the college? And would that be less costly than transferring to the university?
The college pathway ends with the diploma. The college is not a degree awarding body. Gary and Irene and Dion can endorse my statement. So you have to progress to a university to do, undertake undergraduate studies. So the colleges don't offer year 2 and year 3 as of today. The highest qualification they would offer is the diploma, which is equivalent to the first year of a university degree. So you need to transfer from that point. That's why if you have fulfilled all the requirements, if you have passed the diploma, then the university guarantees a seat to the graduating student from the college. Am I correct, Carrie and Irene?
Absolutely, absolutely, Hiran. The degree awarding body is the university, not the college. So,
Yeah. The other advantage that I'll just put is once you complete the diploma, which is year 2, which is the first year of the university, you will get a certificate for your diploma, like you'll get that. And so what we usually say that you have the advantage of getting 2 qualifications. So you've completed your diploma, you get a qualification, which is excellent for you, because when you're looking for your part-time job as a student, you're able to show that, including your transcripts. And then you get into university 2 or 3 years if it's engineering, then you get your bachelor degree and you graduate at university.
Thank you, Irene. That's a very valid, pertinent point. You're technically having 2 qualifications or dual qualifications, whereas if you go into a university, you won't get interim assessments or interim certificates. Once you complete the first year, you don't get I remember many years ago in Sri Lanka, there used to be that process called the GAQ. After the first year, you get a certificate. But even nowadays, you don't get certificates like that. So that's what the university system is. You need to complete, if it is a 3-year bachelor's, you will get your graduate certificate and transcript only upon completion of that 3 years. So this is a good opportunity where students can showcase their intermediate achievements by way of a diploma certificate. I mean, if they want to secure like a part-time job, and if it is an important job here, they've got a certificate of diploma, which is a good yardstick that can be used for various reasons.
and also one additional point, if I can make it, is that taking diploma actually offers a second chance for scholarship. So typically, if the diploma student did not qualify for direct entry scholarship or didn't qualify for direct entry at all, that student has a second chance opportunity by taking diploma you know, at La Trobe, remember, it's only 55% for that 20% scholarship. So in addition to having 2 qualifications, it also gives you that opportunity for a scholarship for the degree. And I think the questionnaire actually asked about whether it would be cheaper to complete the degree at the college, but the actually way to reduce the fees is through achieving a scholarship based on academic merit in the diploma, which if that same student had got into the degree and paid the full fees for 3 years, for nursing at around about 35,000 per year for the 3 years, it's quite expensive. So whereas through the diploma, it's much more economical.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Han. Thank you, Irene and Gary, for highlighting those valuable points. And there's one more question from Ryan. He's asking if he were to pursue engineering in Australia, would that be a 4-year degree? In that case, after completing the diploma in college, would he be transferring directly to the 2nd year or the 3rd year?
Correct me if I'm wrong, it could be 2nd year, but 2 additional years have to be taken in the university.
Yeah, so so for at Edith Cowan University, if you're doing Bachelor of Engineering honors, you do after the foundation, you do diploma, which is the 1st year of university, and then 3 years at the university. The other thing, so we also have Bachelor of Engineering, which might take 3 years, but if you want an engineering degree that is recognized by Engineers Australia, it's best for you to do the honors degree, and on completion of your diploma, regardless of the grade that you get, you're able to get into 2nd year of ECU and do a further 3 years, and then you'll have your bachelor degree in honors engineering.
It's exactly the same system at La Trobe. After diploma, you transfer into the 2nd year and you have an additional 3 years for the Bachelor of Engineering honours degree.
Thank you. So I hope it's all clear to you, Ryan. Anyone, if you have any further questions, please feel free to put it in the chat box, or I don't mind sending me a direct WhatsApp.
I guess probably we don't have, and we have had our partners for the last 1.5 hours or more. It's taken much more time than we anticipated, their valuable time. So those who are participating, AIBS team is available for you to consult, talk to us anytime. Shehan is your primary point of contact. We have a large enough team to talk to you. So we'll be happy if there are any questions that we need to seek further details. We'll be reaching out to our progression partners like Mr. Gary Maguire, Ms. Irene Mujumba, and Ms. Dion Gregory, who is based in Sri Lanka. So we are happy to do that. Don't hold back anything because this is a very important step in your lives, your careers, when you're selecting your higher education, especially wanting to look at higher education overseas. So in conclusion, I would like to thank Dion for helping us putting the pieces together, this webinar. Dion, thank you very much. I know you're always there, never say no attitude to initiate a program like this, and we'll continue to do this. Irene and Gary, once again, my sincere thanks to coming on board on a Sunday afternoon. Thank you very much for your participation. It really encourages us to get these products moving now that Australia is the whole of Australia is almost on the cards of being accessible. So once again, 3 of you, thank you very much. And of course, all the participants, thank you for your time. And we're happy to have had you and keep in touch with you. Osanti and Shehan, thank you for putting the whole, taking the initiative and putting the presentation together. So have a great day, everyone. Have a great Sunday, the rest of the day, and we'll continue to be in touch. Thank you.